going to travel to Tanzania, Eastern Africa. This is the sacred land of Maasai, the Maasai tribes. They still work with strong connections with animals, with cattle. You have to know that this is the second largest cattle in the continent, and the downside of it, those animals can have diseases and transmit those to human. Now we're going to listen to Esram Karimi Rubo. He's a medical doctor at the University of Ngorongoro. He's a winner, a laureate for this installment of the Otis 2019. Now, for us to better realize what is at stake here, we're going to look at some pictures. Esram, please have a seat and explain how important is this connection between animals, cattle, and human on the sacred lands of Maasai. So can you tell us what's happening in that here? Is it a field? Is it a house? What's happening on that picture?
Much, Lionel. Actually, that is a nice photo, as you said it. It is a Maasai cattle. It indicates, Maasai cattle, but with a good, actually, message that you see the animals usually are roaming about in the environment by interacting with the water and interacting with the human beings. So the concept of one health, which is important so that we can actually promote collaboration to promote both health of human beings because they are affected by health of animals and vice versa.
On va voir d'autres des photos vraiment pour se rendre.
We're going to see even more pictures to see this closeness, this quite impressive closeness between men and animals.
The next photo, which unfortunately has to be brought back, is a typical example of how important these animals are to the pastoral communities. And to tell you the truth, with statistics currently in Tanzania, we have more than 30.5 million cattle, and we rank second in Africa in the number of animals we have. And when it comes to goat, we have 18.8 million goats, and we have 5.3 million sheep in the country. So we are really privileged to be having such huge resources.
Yeah, so many animals. Last picture, this is an animal which was killed to be eaten. This may look surprising for us in Europe, but it does show the closeness with animals.
Exactly. That is actually another important photo which indicates, how in real life, in a pastoral setting, things are being done. The shows actually slaughtering of animals in the field. And you see, around the slaughtering places, you have animals like dogs. So whatever stuff are being slaughtered there, they're eaten. Some human eat the meat raw. And also, if they have problems, the dog around will access that meat, and therefore the cycle of diseases between human, animals, and livestock continues. And actually, in that particular setting, this is an image from Ngorongoro. It is a unique World Heritage Site where you have actually maximum interaction between livestock, wild animals, and the Maasai community.
Et on rappelle que pour les Maasai, toute vie, qu'elle soit végétale, animale, humaine, toute vie est sacrée.
Yeah, for Maasai tribes, life is sacred and should be protected, hence the interest of living in a symbiosis. Now, the application, Afyadata, you are a laureate for this application. What was your problem when it started? You wanted to have surveillance of pandemics in the cattle or in human to begin with?
That is also another interesting story because way back in 2009, we visited the Maasai community and we realized there was a really problem. The number of, for example, distance covered by health workers to actually submit reports, like what our colleagues said, was enormous. And so way back in 2014, we convened a special event called EpiHack that brought together the health profession, both human and veterinarian, as well as ICT programmers, to come up with a solution. And we realized three challenges. The first one was actually the lack of participatory engagement of people in the ground, like what colleague Shelley from India mentioned, it's very important to make sure that the whole process for participatory in data collection is ensured. And we also realized that most of the data transmission was based on paper-based system. Therefore, we came up with this solution for coming up with actually a digital solution to hasten actually capture and transmission of data, thanks to the Ending Pandemic Foundation that supported this. And so we sat down with, I have 4 ICT colleagues and 2 epidemiologists and 1. So we embarked on this project to develop this application called the Afyadata. Afya means health in Swahili.
Alors justement, vous allez peut-être nous montrer comment elle fonctionne.
Okay, so maybe you're going to demonstrate how it works concretely, this application. You have a couple of minutes. How does it work? What can you observe with this application?
This application has several modules. The first one is ability to, for example, you have the conventional disease surveillance report form, which is digitized. And to tell you the truth, the first thing is we programmed it so that it can be used in either language. Yesterday when I arrived, I had up in English, but I realized my phone was not compatible with the ODS screen. So I asked my friend, actually Armel, to get it in French. So you start with this. I will show you quickly these first functionalities. It actually allows you to actually import any surveillance form you need, but I will go quickly so that we can see how it works. You then actually have ability to enter actually information using everything, including taking photo and the GPS of that place. And thereafter, you synchronize using the next application so that it can go to the server. And you can also be allowed to edit the form or using this application, or else you can delete if it is not. But the most important thing is that last 2 applications, this one, it provides feedback so that you can be able to interact with actually, for example, you are in the office epidemiology unit, interact with the person sending. And I recall Anne-Marie from Gabon mentioned about this challenge, but for us, this Afyadata provides a solution. And last, which is very, very important, is this A to Z health actually support. We can allow actually utilization of this application to support training of frontline healthcare workers, and this is actually what we proposed to Fondation Pierre Fabre, and that actually brought me here today. And I would also like to thank my colleague, Dr. Christopher Laureate, who encouraged me to go for this application. He is in the room. Thank you so much.
Ah, c'est extraordinaire. Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
Now, what is in charge today of finding signs of pandemics? I think that you have a man, a woman, a contact person per village or per tribe, is that right?
Yeah, actually, how we do business is we go to our target actually community, and we engage the local people to identify people who can be able to be trained and use the mobile app. The most important thing is we set up a minimum criteria to recruit a person we need a person who can be able to read. We can actually, with the experience, train within 1 week a person from the community to be able to use the application. And we try to encourage in a village to have a male and a female together so that they can assist each other. And our an additional criteria is to be able to be accepted in that community he or she is serving, so that whenever he goes around, he can be actually accommodated by the community.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe lorsqu'un...
Now, what happens when a person has signs of a disease or a pandemic? What's happening concretely?
Usually, our system is linked to the official system, starting with the nearest health facility, and then at district level, and finally at the ministry level. So we encourage immediate response from the community to the nearest health facility, to the district, and finally, if it's a really big pandemic, to the national level. Let me also emphasize this. During the Ebola outbreak last year, we sent our team to DR Congo to support fighting Ebola using the Afyadata app.
Et justement, aujourd'hui, l'application elle est déjà en cours et vous avez des premières
Now, you have the first assessments, the first evaluation of the rolling out. How the outlook of this first evaluation?
Actually, it's fantastic. Through the deployment of Afyadata platform in the field, we've managed to create a huge impact, like increasing the rate of patients who would not have been visit the facilities, but it's through the role of community health reporters. We've actually detected several signs and symptoms that are have resulted into triggering response, and we have vivid example of some zoonotic diseases like rabies, like brucellosis, which at least have made it possible to be accepted by not only the community but also the official system. Currently, we are linking the system, the Afyadata, to another AMI app, which is developed by FAO and in collaboration with the Ministry of Livestock, so that we can now scale it from the community up to the global level.
Et là aussi, on fait le lien avec la table ronde.
Now again, to make a connection with the previous round table, today you collect data thanks to the use of this application in the community, data that you wouldn't have access to 4 or 5 years ago.
Absolutely, this is enormous because, like you heard in the round table in the morning, we have played part, we have contributed significantly to the extent. That's why the ministry accepted us, and we in the final discussion with the Ministry of Health, so that it can also be used to support the community and link to what we call the event-based surveillance within the country. And not forget, we also work at the cross-border ecosystem. We link with ecosystem between Tanzania and Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Tanzania and Burundi. And we have actually received some requests to work in Southeast Asia to support our colleagues in MBDS.
Esron, même question qu'à Mohamed tout à l'heure.
Esron, same question. You are a laureate this year, 2019. What is your expectation? What do you expect from being a laureate?
Yeah, I think I have high expectation because through the support from Fondation Pierre Fabre, what we're going is to use it to extend application of Afyadata to promote proper management of zoonotic diseases using e-based training of frontline healthcare workers, focusing mainly on brucellosis, because in Tanzania this is a problem which is mostly confused with malaria because of fever, but if you don't manage it properly, it can lead to an extended suffering of patient unnecessarily.
Merci, bravo, félicitations.
Thank you, congratulations, Esron, for this application, which is one of a very rare application making a connection between animal health and human health. So One Health